and logistics company. I would become the top 1% seller of Amazon in the world of nutritional supplements. I would go and co-found Dr. Emil Nutrition, an 8-figure company that we built in 18 months, and in the middle of COVID, we exited for over $20 million. Never thought I could do that. This kid from Ecuador that had big dreams. And then, once that happened, we started CS3 Investments because I met Grant Cardone. Somebody dragged me into one of those events and told me, you gotta be there. And he gave me a huge dream, beyond what I thought I could ever do. And then we've acquired over 1,000 units in the last 12 months of multifamily real estate, which has been incredible. And then following his blueprint, we say, you know what? We don't want to do this alone. We got to start teaching this. We got to start showing people how this is done. Because I know there's so many people that need this opportunity. And we founded Salguero Training Technologies, which had a different name 4 years ago when we started. And it was a company that was founded with my brother Ricardo in honor of my dad that passed away 4 years ago. So now it has transformed into a company that is on track to do $100 million in business by 2025. Training entrepreneurs how to become real estate professionals in multifamily real estate. That's the path we're following. So I'm going to share a little bit of my story. And who do I learn it from? I learned work ethic and discipline from my dad and my mom, my heroes. Two entrepreneurs that came from nothing, especially my dad. My dad was born in an incredibly small town in Ecuador that is only famous for the ice cream they sell there. It probably has 1,000 people now still. He never had a dad. He never had a mom. Raised by his grandma until 5 years old, and then his grandma passes, and then raised by his sister. And through adversity and through challenges, this man goes to the big city, teaches himself English, becomes a salesman, and starts his first business at 4 years old. Buys a printing press, starts a business. So I was very small. I was only 5 years old when he started this business, and I remember the smell of the printing press. I remember him being there 7 days a week, 365. And we were right there with him. And my mom supporting him 100%. So I lived through those years where I saw him fight through adversity. At 50 years old, he got cancer, he got lymphoma, stage 4 lymphoma. And I see this man that had built already a successful business go back to zero. Because back in those days, health insurance in Ecuador didn't exist. So he had to sell it all. He kept one machine. He already had 10 machines, sold everything so that he could get better. Come to Houston, MD Anderson in Houston, and fix himself. And I could see this man not only going through the chemo and the radiation and all these things, but he also tried every holistic thing that you could think about, right? Went to the jungle of Ecuador so that they could beat him up with leaves and stuff like that. But he got better. And he started again. So I saw him start again from scratch. And 2 times in his life, he fought cancer successfully. And he lived a beautiful and successful life. And he passed at 84 years old. He showed me how to fight adversity. He showed me how to not be persuaded by challenges and give up. And then my mom, another story of success. Her and my dad, after we went to college, didn't get along, so she moves to the States and starts again from zero. With $100 in her pocket, she starts and meets a man on Yahoo Messenger. We were freaking out, as you could imagine. But this guy ended up being her soulmate. Larry Redinger, an ex-army vet that loved my mom till his last breath. And with him, they not only became my first employees. My mom was employee number 1, Larry was employee number 2. My beautiful wife Myra was employee number 3. And they built alongside with me our first business. And then 4 years after that, they went on and built a multi-million-dollar e-commerce business themselves. So proud of them. And for me, chasing the American dream was my dad's dream. Most people say, man, I cannot do stuff in the United States because I don't have a visa or I don't have papers. I had a student visa, then a work visa. It took me 20 years to become a US citizen, guys. And I can't tell you how excited, how happy, how joyful I was to finally call myself an American citizen. Because it was a longing in my heart. And I think that I value it so much and I treasure it so much because it cost me so much. Because it took me 20 years to get there. So now, with that opportunity, what do, guys? We honor this country. The flag flies at our house every single day of the year. Even when Myra wants to take it down when the winds are crazy and hard, I'm like, no, leave it there, man. Leave it there. I like to see it. When I leave home, I like to see it there.